In this video, I'm going to show you how to modify one of your files, commit it locally, and push it to GitLab. So we're here with our old friend Hello World, and what would happen if we wanted to modify this? Well, let's make some changes. And let's just sort of illustrate here's the print rather than print line, and just understand the difference. Okay, so we made some changes, and hopefully your edits will be a little more meaningful for the sake of the program. A couple things to notice here, especially after we save it. Notice that the lines we've added are indicated in green. Now, one of the nice things about this is that we can actually, if we decide we don't want that, we can actually undo it. We can delete the added text. For this sake, I don't want to do that, but sometimes that is the case where you say, well, never mind. The second is, let's just make sure this is working the way we want it. So let's run it. Okay, so it's working the way we want. The second color to notice is the color of the file itself. Notice that in both the editing tab as well as the projects tab, the Hello World Java file is now in blue, and that's an indication that it has been modified. Okay, so modifications are shown in blue. Additions are indicated in green. So, for example, if we had modified this, now all of a sudden this becomes a modification. So if we don't notice how, like when I change this, the whole thing now is blue. Whereas if this line is unchanged and these are just added, then it's in green. Okay, so it's working the way we want. And so let's say we now want to update our GitLab. The first thing to do is update the local Git. So we right-click, and notice I'm right-clicking at the top of the project. You could just right-click on the file itself. I usually, sometimes I want to make sure that everything I've changed gets in this. In this case, it's only one file, but sometimes it's more than one. So I choose Commit. And okay, so some changes to Hello World. And notice that some other files have been changed. These are NetBeans things. We don't have to worry about that. Let's just commit that. And we don't have a fully specified user yet. That's okay. We won't worry about that. I'll fix that in a moment. Okay, so now we have committed it, but we are not in sync with the remote repository. So if we say remote push, see, so as of right now, in fact, let's just double check this. If we go to our Git lab and we see that this is just still the original. All right, so now let's, again, what did I do? I right-clicked at the top of the project, selected Git, Remote, Push. Now, if you've already configured your URL here and saved your access token, then you are good to go. And we hit Next. You notice the blue U that says Master will be updated. And then another one for the remote. And then we grind in whir, and we are now up to date. Let's double check that by refreshing here, and we see that whatever we have done is now in our GitLab. So that is how you make a change and push it to GitLab.